Hi, everyone, and welcome to another lecture in the series of lectures for critical approaches to literature. Um, now, before I just a quick recap actually that as yet um, we were talking about critical approaches to literature. Um, I started with the philosophical inquiry. Um, then got into the Platonic dilemma when it comes to philosophical inquiry and uh, and the major critical questions, right? Now, when you're talking about the major critical questions, there were certain do's, don'ts, things to go about it. And within that, of course, when you're developing those critical questions, we were talking about critiques, activity, or role, which can be uh, which can be which can come under either of the five categories, right? Ontological, functional, normative, descriptive, psychological, or appreciative. Um, and I described, I think so, as yet two or three of those categories, or explained them, or tried to explain them. Now, uh, before I go into the rest of the two categories, I wanted to. I think I already made this clear that uh, even in approaching a piece of work via either of these uh, five approaches, uh, even in criticizing a work via either of these five approaches, whether it's normative, descriptive, psychological, appreciative, ontological, functional, normative, um, you cannot be autobiographical. And I did mention that when I say autobiographical, I mean you cannot reveal how the work affects you, um, which is really important. um, and so even when developing the critical questions, which is why I said that the questions cannot be descriptive, they have to be normative, and your answer can also not be autobiographical. And I wanted to elaborate on that before I go on to the rest of the two um, categories. Uh, as well as in this lecture, um I wanted to just highlight that despite the fact that I've spoken about these or tried to explain these three categories, excuse me, one thing, I'm really nervous still, of course. One thing that is important is uh, to understand that in your criticism, a lot of people, even when writing an answer or trying to criticize a piece of work, what they try to do is they try to demonstrate some kind of uh, um some kind of special ability, um, like probably put in a lot of jargons, put in a lot of hard words, all of that stuff. That's not what you can or what you should ideally do. Um, you should let your thoughts flow free, um, even when you're talking about descriptive criticism, right? You need to let your thoughts flow free. Because at the end of the day, you are supposed to be describing something. Um, as I said, it's a complicated process, um, which is why when I was talking about descriptive criticism, I said that um, it has to still be factual, um, and objective. It cannot come from a place of personal bias. Because please remember, that within this whole domain of philosophical inquiry, we're talking about the Platonic dilemma. So when we're saying the Platonic dilemma, whether it's whether it is you being appreciative, whether it is you being descriptive, whether it's you being functional. Now, in functional, of course, it's easier. But when I come to psychological, because that's still something that we need to cover, and ontological, you will realize it becomes trickier. It's already very tricky, of course, when it comes to appreciative, because we don't generally know how to appreciate something beyond how we see it, right? Like we've all been conditioned that way, almost. So that's why this is an add-on kind of a lecture that I wanted to put in between, where I will be giving a task. Do that task to make sure that you are able to separate yourself from the criticism. Now, I know it's sounding all really complicated, but once you know it all comes together, it might get easier, which is why I'm trying to break down the process so much, because at the end of the day, eventually, once we're done with the whole thing about critical approaches to literature, it has to be like, you read a poem and instantly in your brain, you start doing the entire process. So that's why I'm just trying to break it down as much as I can, because I know that it can be really difficult to understand. That's about it for this video. If you like it, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated for whenever I drop a new lecture. As well as, of course, please do the task. Thank you.